counsel, Mr. Adams, Ms. Tranter, on behalf of the state of Ohio. Ms. Tranter.
Your Honor, I believe that Ms. Wilson is prepared to enter a plea today. Is that correct, Mr. Adams?
It is.
She's going to be pleading as charged. Count 1, failure to comply with the order or signal of a police officer is a felony of the 3rd degree. Count 2, operating motor vehicle under the influence is a misdemeanor of the 1st degree.
All right. And Mr. Adams, is that accurate?
It is.
All right, Ms. Wilson, they're telling me you're going to change your plea to 2 counts from the indictment. Before I get to your change of plea, I'm required to go over some things with you, okay?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
I'm 53.
How far did you go in school?
I went to high school and I graduated, and then I went to nursing school.
All right. Are you able to read and write okay?
Yes.
Are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
Has anyone promised you how the court would sentence you in this case?
No.
Has anyone threatened you in any way to get you to plead guilty against your will?
No, sir.
Are you satisfied with the representation you've received from Mr. Adams?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
Do you take medication that interferes with your ability to understand what's going on today?
No, sir.
I have in front of me a document called a change of plea. On the second page, on the line marked defendant, there appears a signature. Did you sign this?
Yes, sir.
Did you read this and go over it with Mr. Adams before you signed it?
Yes, sir.
And you feel like you understand what it says?
Yes, sir.
All right. This document says you're entering a plea of guilty to 1 count of failure to comply with an order or signal of a police officer. That is a felony of the 3rd degree and carries a maximum penalty of 60 months in prison and a maximum fine of $10,000. The prison term is not mandatory, although I think the state is going to be asking that I send you to prison, just for your fair warning. The second count is that also carries with it a mandatory operator's license suspension of 3 years to life. The second count is one of operating a vehicle under the influence, a misdemeanor of the 1st degree. That carries a maximum penalty of 180 days in the Warren County Jail and a $1,000 fine. That also carries with it mandatory penalties of 3 days in the Warren County Jail, a mandatory fine of $565, and a mandatory operator's license suspension of 1 to 3 years. Do you understand the maximum and mandatory penalties involved?
Yes, sir.
Now, on the felony charge, you're also subject to a mandatory period of post-release control. What that means is that if you are sent to prison on the felony, when you are released, the adult parole authority will supervise you for up to 3 years, but not less than 1 year. If you violate those rules of supervision, the adult parole authority can return you to prison for up to 1/2 of this court's sentence. If your violation is that you commit another felony, you can be returned to prison for 1 year, or the period that you have left on PRC, whichever is longer, and that time would run consecutive to any additional prison time that you get sentenced to. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
But as I've said, it's not mandatory that you're sent to prison at all. The court does have discretion to place you into community control, or what some refer to as probation. While on community control, you will also have rules you must follow. If you fail to follow those rules, the court has the authority to extend the term of your community control or to impose additional, more severe sanctions, which can include local jail time or prison. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You understand that when you enter a plea of guilty, you will be waiving all these rights. We are not going to have a trial.
Yes, sir.
This is how you want to proceed today.
Yes.
All right.
Your Honor, in addition to the facts alleged in the indictment, this event occurred on May the 29th, 2025, Warren County, state of Ohio. Defendant was operating her vehicle at a high rate of speed. Officers attempted to conduct a traffic stop. Defendant accelerated, topping off speeds at 103 miles per hour. It eventually ended up going out the right side of the roadway, overcorrecting, rolled her car multiple times, struck a concrete divider, and the car ultimately caught on fire. She was transported to the hospital. She exhibited both max clues on the HGN as well as the VGN. She admitted that she was on antidepressants and antipsychotic drugs, as well as to drinking at the time of her operation of the vehicle.
Mr. Adams, anything on those facts?
No, sir.
All right. Ms. Wilson, did you hear the statement that she read?
Yes, sir.
Do you acknowledge that what she said is true?
Yes, sir.
And again, you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering a plea of guilty, those rights we went over.
Yes, sir.
What is your plea?
Guilty.
The court will make a finding that you've made a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary waiver of your constitutional rights. The court will accept your plea of guilty, and based upon the statement of facts in your plea, the court will make a finding of guilty. I am not going to get into the matter of sentencing today, Ms. Wilson. I want to order a pre-sentence investigation, and we'll come back in a few weeks and do sentencing at that time. Mr. Adams, you wish to be heard on the issue of bond?
Yes, sir, Judge. There was a period of time where Ms. Wilson's sanity and competency and restoration of the competency was in place. We've seen reports, we've stipulated to the same. I would ask that she be released. And she previously performed well on bond, Judge, when there were the SCRAM or alcohol monitor was in place. Her father and other family are here. I know that she has a place to stay. It was where she was previously staying before. I do think it's probably in her best interest, as well as to ensure compliance with pretrial conditions, that the monitor be in place. To be candid with the court, I think that gives her the ability to come out of jail and make sure that she is insured to follow through in the short term. Obviously, that's not a lifetime. We can't put ankle monitors on people for life. So hopefully the skill set that she's able to gain through whatever conditions this court deems appropriate will aid her in that. But I would ask for her to be released. She has a significant amount of time in custody at this point, Judge. It's probably 7 or 8 months. At this point, I don't have the exact number, but she's been in for quite a long time.
Are you ordered on any medication right now?
In my court order?
Not court ordered. Let me rephrase that. Have you been prescribed any mental health medication?
Yes.
Are you getting that medication over at the jail?
Not all of it, no.
Tell me what happened back in October when you were out on bond, and then you were driving again, apparently impaired, and that's before you ended up at Beckett Springs. What happened there? You were on an alcohol monitor. They were getting notifications that you were using alcohol. You then again got behind the wheel of a car and drove somewhere while on monitor. Explain to me what happened in that. Were you cited for that or anything? Were there any charges that came out of that?
I don't think so.
Not that I'm aware of, Judge.
So, okay. So now tell me what happened there, because I mean, I have a concern about the safety of the public. If I'm going to let you out of jail and you're going to drink alcohol, abuse your medications, and then get behind the wheel of a car, that concerns me. Is her license suspended right now? She under an ALS?
I believe she is under an ALS.
Was there a test or a refusal?
There was no test.
Refusal? So she's under an ALS. Okay. You're not allowed to drive right now. You understand that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So can you explain to me what happened back in October when I revoked your bond? If you can't, then that's fine. But if you remember and try to explain to me so you can.
I needed help.
I'm sorry?
I needed help.
You say your father's here in the courtroom?
Yes. Stand up. Can you stand up?
Sir, do you have the capacity to supervise her to make sure that she doesn't get behind the wheel of a car?
Sir. Yes.
All right. Does the state have a position?
Yes, Judge, we would ask she remain pending sentence. I think it's a terrible idea to let her out. I'm reviewing my notes from back in October, and I believe, in fact, I know this is the case that Officer Conroy was down here and spoke to the court about numerous alcohol events. And I think she said there were so many, she in fact blew up her tab monitor. I think she's a very big risk. I think we need to get her assessed and come up with a plan for her before we even think about releasing her back into the community, because I think she's just too much of a danger.
Judge, if I may, in
Sure.
response to that, and I appreciate counsel's
Okay.
thoughts. I understand where she's coming from. I think there were competency issues at that point in time that were still being resolved and or unresolved. Those have, according to the reports that we've all stipulated to, been resolved at this point in time. She has been in custody for enough time that she's had alcohol out of her system. I will certainly, you featured, and I think fairly so, and I've already previously told Ms. Wilson that the state's going to be asking for prison. I clearly will be asking for her to be given credit for the amount of time that she's done and do the treatment and the assessments and things like that Ms. Trainer spoke of, because I think those are important. What I would ask the court is, if we're going to be able to find out whether Ms. Wilson was under competency and or needing help, as she described it, conditions, well, she's received that at Beckett. I think we need to see whether or not she can do this or not. This will be the kind of a little mini probation period. And if she does well, then obviously I'll be arguing, hey, Judge, she's done well. If she gets out and she doesn't do well, then, she knows where her next address is going to be.
Sir, you had something. Sir, would you tell me your name, please?
My name is Gerald Thornton. I'm a friend of the family's.
Okay.
When she was on both monitors, she did extremely well. I don't know what the prosecutor had to say about it, but she was extremely well and went to all the court dates, and we made sure she was there. It is when she had the other monitor off is when things went awry.
Okay. All right. I don't, thank you, sir. I don't have a bond report, so I don't know. Does she have a prior record?
The one question.
Judge, she's got some misdemeanors. She has an OVI from 09, another OVI from 05. She's got a child endangering with an open container in the vehicle from 05. Most recently is a disorderly conduct out of Kettering, reduced from an M1 possession of drugs. That was in 23.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Court is going to grant defense request, and I'm going to release Ms. Wilson on an OR bond. Should be placed both on electronically monitored house arrest and a TAD monitor. I'm going to go along with Mr. Adams' recommendation. And Ms. Wilson, I'm cautioning you. I understand that you have mental health issues, but that's not an excuse for you to misbehave. Follow your doctor's orders. Take the medication as prescribed. No alcohol. You can't mix them. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you violate my orders on bond right now, I can guarantee you that when you come back for sentencing, I'm going to send you to prison. Are we clear on that?
Yes, sir.
So Mr. Adams is right. You have an opportunity right now to show me over the next several weeks that you will comply with the court's orders, that you won't break the law, that you won't abuse your medication or alcohol, and that you can follow my orders and be a successful candidate for community control or probation. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
But if you go back to your dad's house and you start drinking again and you're getting behind the wheel of a car, which you're not allowed to do, we're going to have a problem, because I will send you to prison for 2 years. And I don't think that's what you want. And that's certainly not what I want to do. I want you to be successful. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Judge, so we're clear, so she's clear. It is an order of this court that she not consume any alcohol.
Absolutely not. You are not permitted to drink any alcohol whatsoever. Do you understand? Not a glass of wine at dinner, not a sniff. Don't go near it. You have an alcohol problem. I'm guessing we're going to get an assessment, but I'm going to guess with 3 OVIs, you got an alcohol problem. You probably could have gotten a 4th in this October incident, but we're not going to worry about that now. I want you to get some help. Okay.
So before, when he said don't mix your medications and your alcohol,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you don't take your medications
Yeah.
and therefore you can drink.
Right. You're not.